Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Garage Gym Experiment podcast. My name is Adam, that's Jake, and yet again, back again for another great episode. On tonight's episode, we have our $5,000 home gym build outs. Last week we did 10,000. You can go back on YouTube or your podcast service, check those out. 5,000 this time. Let's build out our gyms, just having a little fun with that. We'll follow up with a HomeGymCon update, our new our new products that hit the market, and then our survey results on where your gym is, size, and all that good stuff. And then Jake's going to wrap it up with the Kratos Flywheel review. So I'm anxious to hear what he thinks about that. Jake?
All right. Thank you, Adam. All right. So $5,000 home gym build. So if you remember, both Adam and I had pretty much loaded up Rogue and Rep and those sorts of gyms within the 10K budget. My overall gym is kind of similar, but just kind of choosing a lot more budget friendly options. And also I didn't add as many like cool accessories. So, but a $5,000 gym, I think, like, if you take both of our options, I actually haven't looked at yours, Adam, but I feel like I was still able to put together a pretty awesome gym with $5,000. I'm going to start it off with a bang, going with the Force USA G3. I did cut $100 off because I used the GGE promo
That's allowed.
code.
Yeah, you can do that.
GGE5 promo code.
Does that save you 10%?
It saves you 5%.
5%.
So, and that actually saved me at the end. But the G3, right away you get a pulley system. It is plate loaded, a Smith machine, and also a basic rack. So there are some shortcomings with that rack, but right off the gate you kind of get that pulley system and Smith machine, and it also comes with like a massive amount of like their average quality but attachments. So it comes with like a lat pull down bar, it comes with D handles, it comes with a landmine. So there's quite a bit of things that it comes with, and you really have a full gym right there without the plates. So next up I added if you remember last week, I bought a stainless steel Ohio power bar. This time I'm going with the Bells of Steel powerlifting bar. So this is raw and it has a chrome sleeves, I believe. So, but a raw shaft, and it's under $200. I've had it in the past. It's pretty solid. It'll do the job. You just need to maintain it or it will get crazy rusty. So that's a sacrifice with this budget as well. Also, stuck with the homegrown plates this time, except I got more, because of the plate loaded pulley system. I think that's another thing that most people need to consider if they're thinking about plate loaded options. You know, you don't want to be changing plates on and off all of the time, or you want to also be able to use the pulley system and the weights for the barbell, for example. So here I actually added 680 pounds of homegrown plates. So I did a 500-pound set, and then I also went and grabbed 2 of the thin pairs. So the overall cost for the plates is $817. I also went and stuck with the Ironmaster Super Pro. So I had this in my last budget, and I think I considered like a more budget-friendly rep bench, but I thought for a few $100s more, this was good enough to keep in the lineup. So using the Super Pro bench and the crunch attachment, I think it's just that good of a bench. Last week I added the Rogue Echo bike. This time I went with the Titan Fitness fan bike to save a few $100s. I also went with the Reppins last week. Saved about $300 or $400 with the TrueLop 8592. So those are, I think the TrueLop adjustable dumbbells going all the way up to 92 pounds are pretty dang good. So I think that's not even that big of a sacrifice to go to those true laps. And that overall cost, I feel like I have a pretty much full gym. I think the biggest thing I'm missing is a lat pull down / low row, but under $5,000. I also thought about, like, instead of the Titan Fitness bike, adding like a budget friendly power rack, like a PR 1100. And you could also add the lat pull down low row, but added some cardio instead.
Yeah, you like last week have a very well-rounded gym. I really like your pulley system. The G3, as far as like a functional trainer, I think is great. The rack is, the rack is what it is. But you have the Smith machine in there too. So
yeah,
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, quite a bit of versatility there. All right, let's hear yours.
All right, well, here's mine. I tried to keep a very similar vibe. As I remember when I logged off, I said, I'm going to try to do the exact same thing, but half the price. And so here's what I came up with. I broke the rules last time, so I'm breaking the rules this time. I didn't add plates, but as you can see at the bottom, I still have close to $600 to spare. So, throw some plates on there and make some sacrifices elsewhere. All right, Titan T3 rack. It's a 3x3 rack with 1-inch holes. That is replacing my $10,000 budget of my rep rack with all the fancy storage and all that good stuff. I also tried to balance the companies I went with. So for the bar, I jumped on the Rogue Boneyard, the Rogue Boneyard. And I didn't see at the time, you can always wait for something to pop in. At the time, like today, they only have Ollie bars in there for like $350, which is great for an Ollie bar, which is like typically $500-$600. So I went over to Rep, and their Black Diamond Power Bar, I didn't realize was only $280. I say only, like $300 is a premium bar as well. But anyway, I thought that'd be fun to throw it in there. So there it is. It's a nice bar. I've got my hands on it a few times, but haven't like truly lifted with it.
Sorry to cut you off, but I'm guessing that was the blemished section.
Where?
The Rep, was it a Rep blemish bar?
That is not the blemish section. That's a brand new bar, like unblemished. I know. That's what I thought. I was like, that's a good price. Yeah. The bench, I went with the Crandall Fitness FID bench. It's actually one that I've wanted to like try out. And when mine goes, who knows, maybe I will, because it's pretty much like what I have, the AB3000. I'm sorry, AB3000 rep. But this one's got vertical storage. So $375 for the bench. Here's where I went big. This one's got substituted out many times to see if I could fit it, and I can. And it's the Bells of Steel plate loaded lat pull low row. And I find myself, even with a functional trainer, and even when I had the Bells of Steel like functional tower, really only going from highs and lows. There's not a lot of mids there for me. And so I really only need the high pulley and the low pulley. I can do my arm accessories with that. And I think it's like really important to have like a true lat pull down in your gym. Not important, but like I love it. So I'd want it in any gym that I built. Titan Olympic rings. I didn't put them on my $10,000 budget. Go back and throw them in. It's $40. I love having rings in my gym. I use them all the time. And I kept the rep and dumbbells, the 105s for $1,000. So I was able to keep that in there. And the Titan leg extension, leg curl, I have it. It's great for leg accessories. You don't have to squat every time you want to work out your legs. You can do something else. So yeah, there's my gym. Totals $4,421. Obviously, I'm missing plates, but I was missing plates last time. So if I'm going to break the rules last week, I'm breaking them this week. What do you think of my gym, Jake?
I like it. It's also well-rounded. You
strangely similar to my actual gym.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, I like what I like.
Yeah. Wow, it is strangely similar. Except you have the adjustable dumbbells instead of the full dumbbells.
Mm-hmm. I have a stacked lat pull low row. I don't have the low row.
Yeah.
It's just a lat pull. Did you know that? My commercial one, it's just lat pulls. There's no low row on it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, I think you're probably a little bit more set up for success too with building it out with that primary rack. Like, yeah, I mean, I dig it. I mean, I guess I'm missing a leg curl, leg extension, but
yeah.
But
the big thing you have going is obviously the full functional trainer.
Yeah.
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 Smith machine. That's kind of fun.
Smith machine.
You use yours a lot, your Smith machine.
I do use it quite a bit.
I feel like every chest day I miss having one for incline presses. I don't like doing anything else like chest wise on a Smith machine, but incline presses for some reason that's a go-to.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up is a HomeGymCon update. So keep it simple this week. Looks like the list is kind of way off.
Follow HomeGymCon. You can see the list.
You can see the list. We are up to 91 total vendors. I feel like feels like there's quite a bit of momentum again after a few months of just normal lag with it being almost a year out still. But I think over the last few weeks we've added about 10 new vendors. So Sierra Whiskey Fitness. She's primarily doing woodwork these days, so she should be bringing some cool stuff there. Better Through the Barbell is a nonprofit doing some kids weightlifting education. Home Fitness Works, he's doing some home gym veteran stuff as well. So he's coming out. I don't know exactly what he's promoting at the event, but I believe that's going to be at the core of his setup. Quantum Trainer, so the Quantum Trainer Pro 2, I think it is what it is their kind of primary product right now. They just missed last year's HomeGymCon, like the piece didn't get done in time or something. But they're coming from the UK, I believe. Yeah, I think the UK. Gentleman Fitness Club, they actually have some really cool stuff. If you check out their Instagram, they're coming from Japan. X-Master Fitness, they'll be rivaling Mayhem as maybe the best the company with the best plates. They have some amazing plates. Anchor Training, so they are the ones with the portable functional trainer. I think one of the real innovators in that space. I believe they should have some new stuff for us by next year as well. Rigmate. So this is a new company. They just signed up earlier today, but they've got some cool rack accessories to kind of make your rack cooler. And then we do have a 10x10 for our host hotel, the Galt House.
Sweet.
Which that serves as a reminder. Make sure you go and book your room. You don't have to pay anything down right now, and you just kind of knock that out. And also ensures that we don't run out of space before you sign up and you get screwed.
I was going to say 91 vendors. There's going to be a lot of vendors in rooms. So if you are a patron, go book your room.
That's correct. So this is growing a little faster than I kind of expected, and also, with planning with a new city, and you have to the new city, like how many people were there last year, how many rooms did you book last year, and we had to give French Lick numbers, which is a totally different comparison. So I think we still have a good number, and they mentioned like if you run out of space, there's other hotels, but if you know you're going, just book your hotel, and you won't have to worry about staying at a different hotel. All right, next up, new products. I don't think we had any new products this week.
I was going to say this was blank, and then I read it. And I was like, well, you didn't put new products. So because I went through the slide, and I was like, there's no new products.
Okay. I was going to delete the slide, and I was like, let's just say there were no products.
There is some news on the scene with the Duffin news.
There is the
officially stepping down from Kabuki.
I don't think he stepped down. I think he got ousted by the new management.
Oh, the way he phrased it, it sounded like I'm walking away. And it said days before some of his latest and greatest inventions are being launched or something like that.
I don't know. I think he kind of just got ousted. I don't know. He is, kind of doing it the right way, saying I have no hard feelings.
Oh yeah.
But I don't have a job with Kabuki anymore. So yeah, definitely interesting there. It's hard to kind of even imagine Kabuki without Duffin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of the face of it. But and then so there's that, and then also something with new products coming is, you know how on the C10 there's like that rotational functional trainer arm.
Yes.
It looks like GetRx is adding something similar to their racks. And I was reading in the comments, and they did say that it should also retrofit with like a Rogue a Rogue and then Rep Rack as well. So
Like for their functional trainers.
Did you see those?
On the C10, like that you can like rotate it out to get even wider. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and GetRx has pretty much the same thing. And maybe
cool.
even a little bit more multi-directional. Yeah. All right. So be on the lookout for that, everyone. Survey results. So let's run through these. So approximately how much space is your home gym? So in general, this one varied greatly. So it was you could either choose 100 square feet, 200 square feet, 300 square feet, or 400 square feet. I won't read all the numbers. I'll say the most popular one was 200 square feet with 32% of the votes, and it was pretty close to even for the rest. But in general, very spread out in terms of space. Where is your home gym? So about 3 and 5 say it is in their garage. So 62% garage, 23% basement, 8% other room in the house, and then also 8% in like other, like shed, barn, other. And then ceiling heights. So only 14% have a ceiling height of 7 feet or less. About 36% have 8 feet. That was the most popular answer. 9 feet, about 28%, and then 10 feet or higher, 23%. 76%. Oh, wait, no. Then if you're looking at the screen, that's wrong. 24% believe that their primary rack is too full, not 76%. And then lastly, some specialty machine data. So 70%. And before this, I'll say there was kind of a surprising result a few months ago, maybe, where we asked like, what's the number one item you're thinking about adding to your home gym, or what's like the hottest item? Rack attachments were number one, but barely behind rack attachments were specialty machines. So we're just seeing a lot more interest in specialty machines. So the data for last week, so 70% would put a specialty machine in their home gym. 70% would also put commercial gym equipment in their home gym. And then we also asked how many specialty machines would you add to your current home gym space in an ideal world. So hopefully people were reasonable with this, just considering their budget, the space they had. But most people, as the other data said, most people want at least one. So 25% want one, 35% want two, and then 27% want three or more, and only 13% want zero.
I have a question on the definition of a specialty machine. So, are we calling a lat tower a specialty machine?
Yeah.
Yes. What about a functional trainer?
Yes.
Functional tower?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't too
I would agree.
specific with
I
this,
agree.
but yeah.
I would say anything outside like rack dumbbell, like bench, a standalone thing where you go and exercise with it. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, and there's some people who probably want to know like the difference between something that does one thing and one thing that does like 10 things, like a functional tower.
Sure.
Yeah. But
Does Porter Phys Ed have one functional machine in his garage?
I think so.
Okay. All right.
I think that's just one.
Just one. It's a good one. What would you say for yours? Like, I'm curious. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Ski erg. Is that a functional machine?
No, I think that's cardio.
Okay. Strength. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I got it.
I mean, I definitely want 3 or more though.
You have to have 3 or more. You've got leg curl, leg extension. Your G series rack has a lot of functional machines in it. You know, is that one? That's one.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
think
call it
that's
Smith
just
machine?
one.
Yeah, that's hard. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you've been thinning out lately. I haven't been to your gym. It's been a while.
It's getting more crowded. Kyle just gave me the ATX lat pull down.
Oh,
and lat pull. Yeah.
Dude, my jealousy is through the roof. What? Purpose? He ran out of room? What's going on?
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's moving and he doesn't have the space.
I knew he was moving, but he's setting up another gym.
But it's smaller, and I think the ceiling height might be an issue.
Did it come? Okay. Did him rehoming that come with the caveat of, if I get a bigger gym, I'd like it back?
Yeah, it's still his.
Okay.
It's a loan. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I know you, and when you had the Titan one, when that first was like $400 and you just sitting on that thing pulling away. So I can only imagine.
Well, I've had the UPS for a long time.
Right. I know. There's something about a machine though. Like it's already set up. You do a little pin, you're good to go.
I did love that Titan thing.
I know.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to a review. So the Kratos Flywheel review.
Hamstrings.
Is this a specialty machine?
This is for sure a specialty machine. Yes.
So yeah. So so the Kratos Flywheel, I've had this since a little bit before HomeGymCon, and it took me quite a while to like figure out. I had to like learn kind of the vocabulary and figure out what to say and implement into my training. And yeah, so this one I've been using it a while, but it just took a while, and I do really love it. It's a very solid piece of equipment that I think with more education and more people getting their hands on these types of things, more people will want flywheels. I also think they're kind of pricey right now, and hopefully in the future, as more people start using them and buying them, the price comes down a little bit. But in general, I've been using this in kind of a sporadic way, but I find myself using it just about every day. Or every workout, either as like a warm-up or a finisher, or like in between. I find a way to superset with it. I feel like it helps complete the rest of my gym. I think most people still don't really know what flywheel training is. So I'm gonna quickly just go over that before I talk about the rest of the view. But the biggest difference is, rather than like moving weight up and down, you are using a flywheel to generate resistance through inertia. So really what it comes down to or how hard the workout is basically on you. So the harder or faster you push, the more resistance you face. And also with the more resistance that you push, the more you have to like control it. So flywheel training engages both concentric and eccentric phases. I know I'm using big words now, but the concentric phase occurs when you are like pushing or exerting the force. So more traditional like weightlifting movements or pushing. And then the eccentric is really, from my understanding and the way I like feel it when I'm using it, is like controlling the flywheel as it continues to spin. So if you push it really hard, there's force exerted, there's a work, like that's part of the workout, but it also spins harder and you have to like control it. It's kind of like when you bench press and you like go down as slowly as possible. What do you call that?
Negatives.
Yeah, it's kind of like negatives, but it is different.
Yeah. I think the easiest example I could come is when I was at your place and like a bicep curl. So, you yank it up as hard as you can, and it's going to try to pull you down as hard as you can. So you're fighting against it on that eccentric on the way down.
Right. So let's move on to like it's how I use it and just like talk about its overall versatility. So I kind of compare it to the versatility of like a single column trainer, you know, like the ones that Bells of Steel offers. So you can raise it to a bunch of different levels and then do a number of different movements. You can change up the resistance rather than changing weights, but by actually just changing out how quickly you move it. So there are really like with you know, with any functional trainer or single column, there's like in your imagination is what you can do with it. And this is relatively similar. There are quite a bit of like sport specific movements that you can do to really master certain strengths that you need for a certain sport. I'm a 36-year-old man who's just trying to stay in shape. I wouldn't say stay in shape, continue to get in better shape. But I don't necessarily need to do certain athletic movements anymore. So I keep it simple. I honestly use it kind of like I would use a single column trainer, just in a little bit of a different way because you can do certain things that you can't do on a single column trainer and vice versa. But with that said, I do stuff that you've already heard of. So like I do the squats. It's really similar to like a belt squat. What?
Okay. That's what I'm sitting here. That one has to be the worst. Like knowing what that feels like, squats sounds horrible on this thing.
It's the worst, but it's also my favorite because I was going to kind of explain that later, but so like there's certain movements where there's more bracing and there's others where there is, it's more about the explosive, or there's certain movements where that initial push can be stronger than like if you're doing a single arm row. So, but yes, I think the squats can be an absolute burner. Like burn your legs more than anything else in your gym. So I do squats, lateral raises. Again, like you can't generate as much force, but it gives a totally different feel than just like lifting weights. Deadlifts and RDLs, those are also ones that you can really just like go after it. Face pulls. So if you think about face pulls, I mean, the biggest difference is like the control of it back. So it's totally different than doing a regular face pull, where you can just kind of slam it back on a single column trainer. Lat pull downs, bicep curls, those are cool as well. And then tricep extensions. So I'm not doing any of the like rotational lunge, twist, and raise type stuff. But Kratos does have a pretty good library of just like some movements that you can do that like that. Another way that I enjoy using it is I have quite a bit of attachments that I've kind of collected on over the years, and I use it on my functional trainer and lat pull down. I like using them on this as well. So I have mag grips. I use the belt fed, accessory strap, prime handles. And then, as I mentioned, it's great for finishers, warm-ups, and supersets. I don't think I would ever just do a 100% dedicated flywheel workout, but I know that some people would. So, I mean, in general, like I said earlier, this is a nice complement to everything else I have in the gym. All right. More product specific. So one of the biggest differences between this flywheel system, the Kratos, is the vertical and horizontal resistance all within one unit. So if you think about like the eccentric options, which are also awesome, and other flywheel systems, I don't think there's any that combine both. So it's either the horizontal or it's either the vertical that you're like attaching to a post. This is, you can rotate both of them within like 30 seconds from one to the other. So this is not a cheap unit, but it is at a lower cost than when you have to combine the separate units of other brands to kind of get this vertical and horizontal resistance. I think we've kind of talked about the vertical resistance mimics traditional weightlifting movements, and then also how the horizontal aspect feature focuses more on the core and then the functional strength. So more on like specific movements and athletic performance. So the vertical, it provides a variety of workouts as well. Moving on to the overall build quality and design, it's just a very well put together piece. The overall build quality is solid. It includes powder coat where it needs to be powder coated, and should look good for a long time. It should never rust or anything like that. It is very smooth, very scratch resistant. The platform is a stained CNC milled birch base. Just looks good, easy to grip with your shoes. There's no slippage. In general, it's just a well thought out design. And the best part of it is probably how easy it is to adjust just from vertical to horizontal. User experience. So, I realize that most of the people I'm talking to with this review have very minimal or no experience with a flywheel. I think a big question is like, what's the learning curve? It's pretty easy. If you have general lifting experience, a lot of it just takes some trial and error. But in general, it's very straightforward. You'll definitely have to like tinker with certain like height settings. So it takes some time to like figure out what height the strap should be for certain lifts or movements, I should say. I think it takes a little bit of patience at first, but honestly, within by the end of a certain workout, you'll have it kind of nailed down forever. I personally don't write down the numbers, but it would be helpful if you wrote down certain movements. There's a numbered strap that you can kind of figure out what's best for each. I mentioned the quick setup changes. You can easily change the height and strap length within 30 seconds or so. One thing that I don't think any other flywheels have is an easy knob to get it rolling. So you have other flywheels, you have to twist the plates, and it's not as easy as the knob that Kratos provides. The one, not an issue, but sometimes the strap does get tangled, and you have to update it every so often. But it's just a quick fix. All right, cost. So I've mentioned a few times, not many people have gotten their hands on flywheels. So spending $3,000 or so on a system is doubtful. So I don't think a ton of people are going to until they get their hands on them. But the price breakdown is similar to the lat pull down market. So anywhere from Kratos has a number of different options. You can just get a portable option. You can get something that you strap to a post, or you can get this what I've been talking about is kind of the premium one that includes a platform and both vertical and horizontal, which is about $2,800. Which is that price variance is similar to what we were talking about earlier on the podcast. Is just there's plate loaded options all the way to the most premium stack options. So that's kind of the price difference there. As far as price goes, I think considering the overall build quality, the versatility of the unit of just how many different things that you can do, I think it's fair. I think the price is fair. And then lastly, just some other notes. So the installation was very simple. Just kind of find a stud, mount it to the stud, and drill it in. there is a Rep 1 sensor add-on that you can do. So this was something that I never even really touched. I looked into it initially, and it was just a little bit too complicated for me and my everyday use. I do think, like, if you're a coach and you are coaching athletes and you want to be able to track their explosiveness or certain velocity of certain movements, it can be very helpful. I think it's about $400 additional for that. So that's a nice, cool add-on that you can add as well. In regards to the plates that are included, the base package includes a large and medium flywheel, which is what I have. I personally have never really thought like, oh, I need more weights or I need less weight. So I do think like this is a very good starter package. So if you were to buy it, just go with this and then add on later if you need to, or if you need a smaller plate, etc. And then lastly, in this section, I'll mention, like, I truly appreciate having the dedicated space and platform. So I do have like another flywheel system that is portable. So I usually I actually have it in in a cabinet, and you can pull it out and take it out. I like that this is a dedicated spot. I find myself using it every workout, as I mentioned, and I think the biggest thing is like it's already there. It's set up. Even if I have to change it, it's not going to take long. Whereas if I have a portable option and I want to use it, I need to like mentally take it out, set it up, use it, and then put it back. And, we've talked about this many times on the podcast. If there's a couple different options, I'm going to take the easier option as far as setup. It's just like human nature. I'm usually working out in the morning. It's kind of a rush. So I do appreciate having the dedicated platform. Or you can also get this unit without the platform and just have it against the wall and on the ground within a dedicated space. So that's a pro as well that you can do. But that's it. So in general, I think like I wouldn't hesitate adding it to my home gym again if I needed to, just because I know the versatility and how much I appreciate the movements and the like dynamics that it can add to a workout. But I totally understand like cost is still pretty high, and there are people that haven't tried flywheel training before. If you're looking for another kind of element to your home gym, I think this works. I would say try and find some sort of flywheel system. And if you do decide to get a flywheel system, like this is one that you can definitely count on. Most specifically, if you want something with a dedicated spot and only one standalone unit. But all right.
Yeah, as you're talking, I was flicking through, looking at posts of it and things like that. And that one in particular, from someone who hasn't used it, it's pretty intimidating looking. Like, as far as like getting into different movements and stuff like that. But seeing some clips of you using it, like, it would be a perfect finisher. I mean, for how I work out, like, you want to like blast your arms, but right before you get out of there, like that tricep extension looks awesome. Bicep curl. Yeah. Heavy price tag to foot there, but
for sure. And one more thing I just kind of thought of, but I've been thinking of is, how Kratos, I don't know specifics. This is just based off of like what I've seen. Kratos originally sold through Kabuki. So this was originally like the Kabuki Kratos. And
I thought it still was. I'm sorry.
I don't think so. It's not Kabuki anymore. It's just kind of like I imagine Kratos kind of went on, or like kind of like just thought Kabuki with their brand could sell it. And I totally like understand why Kabuki was so excited about excited about it in the first place. Like, it truly is a game changer and a well-made piece. And I think I'm going to take a guess and just say, like, the market wasn't ready.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember Duffin talking about it and how like flywheel training was going to like change the gym scene and stuff like that. I remember him being so excited about it when Kabuki started selling it. It's been out now for a handful of years. But yeah, awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it.
That's going to do it. Well, if you liked tonight's episode, keep your eye out for new episode releases wherever you listen to podcasts. Be sure to follow Knurled News. Not subscribed yet? What's wrong with you? Check out the link below. Sign up for more home gym content. Guys, we have HomeGymCon coming up in June. Like Jake said, get on the Galt House and reserve your room before they fill out. Yeah. Jake, anything else left for the listeners? All right, guys, we'll catch you next time. Bye.